You are listening to SDO Isabela Radio-Based Instruction.
Learning never stops in Math Eskwela, your school on air.
Your partner in achieving fun learning experiences. Let's listen, enjoy, and have fun in learning mathematics. Stay tuned.
It's a marvelous day, my dear math enthusiasts. You are currently tuning to Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela, where learning never stops. I am happy to know that you are joining me as we learn and discover new things in the field of mathematics.
Yay!
This is Sir Mark Abel S. Bugawan, your math buddy on air. Okay, how are you feeling today? Hoping that we are all fine as of this moment you hear this broadcast. It's not too safe going outside. It is our chance to learn at the comforts of our homes and our own pace. We are now at our 7th week together, and the 4th quarter is waving.
Oh yeah!
You've gone this so far, so you deserve a big round of applause. Before we start, be sure you had your stomach full and seated in a comfortable place while listening to the broadcast for you to focus and relax. But before that, let's do a little stretching. Are you ready?
I'm ready!
Okay, stretch your arms up to the sides and down. Shrug your shoulders, move them inwards and outwards. Do this 3 times. Now, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, feeling relaxed now, my dear students?
Aye, Captain!
Okay, now we're ready to discover and learn new things. So now, be ready with learning activity sheets, your pen and paper. Let's start! Last time, we have learned about union and the intersection of events. Given two events, A and B. What is meant by union again, my dear students? You are correct. Union of events A and B denoted by A union B is the set that contains those elements that belong to A and B, or both. Usually, or is used to indicate the union of two events. How about the intersection of two events? Very good! The intersection of events A and B denoted by A intersection B is the set containing elements common to set A and B. But today, we will focus on the union of events, particularly illustrating the probability of the union of the two events, which is our lesson for today. There are some ways in illustrating union and intersection of events, but the easiest and the best way is to make use of Venn diagram. The diagram clearly shows where the union or intersection of events is. But we should also be mindful that illustrating the union of two events may vary depending on the type of event. There are what we call mutually inclusive or mutually exclusive events. What do you think makes the two different, my dear students? Excellent! From the word itself, exclusive means single or solitary. Therefore, mutually exclusive events are two or more events having no common elements. When illustrating them using a Venn diagram, mutually exclusive events use circles that do not intersect. On the contrary, mutually inclusive events are two or more events that have common elements. That is why when we illustrate them using a Venn diagram, there are part of the circle that intersect with each other. Is that clear, my dear students? Okay, well then, let's have a practice questions for me to see how well you understood mutually inclusive and mutually exclusive events by identifying them in some given situations. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You sound so sure, and that's very good. Now, I will read some situations and tell me if they are mutually inclusive or mutually exclusive. Is that okay?
Okay.
Let's start. Mark Darrell prepared 10 balloons for his son's birthday. He has 4 red balloons, 3 balloons, 2 white, and 1 yellow balloon. If he chooses one of the balloons to put his gift for his son, what is the probability that Mark Darrell will choose a blue or a red balloon? Excellent! It is mutually exclusive event. The next one. Ruby's dog has 8 puppies. The puppies include white females, 3 mixed color females, 1 white male, and 2 mixed color males. Ruby wants to keep 1 puppy. What is the probability that she randomly chooses a puppy that is female and white? Very good! It is a mutually inclusive event. Let's have another one. Of 1,350 students of a certain high school, 176 are the honor roll. 15 are members of the mathematics club, and the 10 are in the honor roll and are also member of the mathematics club. What is the probability that a randomly selected student is on the honor roll or is a member of a mathematics club? What do you think the answer, my dear students? It's amazing! You are right! It is mutually inclusive event. You really mastered how to determine mutually inclusive and exclusive events. Well then, I believe we won't have any problem illustrating the union of mutually inclusive events. Today, since you're knowledgeable of the difference between mutually inclusive and mutually exclusive events, discuss on the union of mutually exclusive events will be aired in another episode. Is that okay to you?
Okay.
I have questions. This past day, you have experienced being torn between having to do 2 or more things at the same time or day. What are they? I'm sure you have it. Like having to do household chores first or doing your modules, or both. There are some instances when we do our responsibilities simultaneously, and that is an example of a mutually inclusive event. Now, how do you illustrate mutually inclusive events? That's right! As we discussed earlier, mutually inclusive events can be illustrated using a Venn diagram. And since the events are mutually inclusive, there are parts of the circle that intersect with each other. Let me ask you, do you think playing sipa or patintero when you were younger?
Oh yeah!
Of course, Filipino children are used to playing both because they are laro ng lahi. Let us then take a look at the pictures at the second activity in our learning activity sheet. On the left side are the pictures showing students playing sipa, while on the right side are the children playing patintero. Below these pictures is a table showing the number of students playing sipa and patintero. And let's try to organize it using a Venn diagram. But before we can be able to make our Venn diagram, we should know the number of students who play sipa only and patintero only, or both games. I'll give you time to organize our data before we proceed with making the Venn diagram. I will give you 30 seconds to do this activity. I think you are now ready to make our Venn diagram. Since there are two inclusive events in the given, we shall draw two intersecting circles. Let's label the first as SIPA as letter S and the other circle as patintero, which is letter T. Take note that the two circles should have a common side shown in the middle. Have you drawn your own diagram on your notes, my dear students? Very good! The next thing you should do is to look for the common data between the two events. In this case, we need the number of students who play both SIPA and patintero. How many students play both SIPA and patintero, my dear learners? You're right! From the table given, it can be seen that there are 5 students who are playing both games. Then, we should put it in the part where the two circles coincide. How about the number of students who play SIPA only? You're correct again. There are actually 10 students who play SIPA, but 5 of them play both games. Therefore, there are only 5 students who play SIPA only. On what part of the diagram should we put 5 then? That's nice! We should put 5 on the remaining side of the circle labeled SIPA. This time, what should we put on the right side of the diagram labeled patintero? Marvelous! We put 8 on this side since there are only 8 students who play patintero. But wait, if we add the total number of students, there are only 18 of them included in the diagram, when in fact there are 20 students in the table. What do you think is the reason? Absolutely! Our universal set in the given is 20. However, there are only 18 who play SIPA and patintero. Because if we go back at the given table, student 16 and student 19 do not play either of the two given games. In this case, where should we put 2 in the diagram? Correct! We put 2 outside the two circles. And let's enclose all the data using a rectangle to indicate our universal set. Can you follow, students? That's good to hear. If that's the case, I think we're now ready to proceed to activity 3. Will show us how to get the probability of the number of the students who like to play SIPA, patintero, both SIPA and patintero, or neither of the two. Since we already created our Venn diagram for the given data, it will be easier for us to solve their probabilities. In order to find the probability of each region, we'll just divide the number of elements in each region by the total number of elements in the universal set. How many students are there in the universal set again? Very good! 20 is our universal set. Let's take the first question as example. Number 1 question asks the probability of the students playing SIPA only or P, S is the diagram. There are only 5 out of 20 students who like to play SIPA only. They're simplifying the result will be 5 over 20 or 1/4 or 0.25 in decimals. This means that if you pick one of the 20 students, there is a 25% probability that the student wants to play SIPA only. Do you understand, class?
Oh, yeah!
Excellent! Then, let's proceed to the second question. What is the probability of the students playing patintero only or PT? Marvelous! There are 8 out of 20 students who like to play patintero only. So, we'll have 2 over 5 or 0.4 probability that the students like to play patintero only. How about the third question? What is the probability of S union T, or a student wants to play either SIPA or patintero? Before we can answer this, we must identify which part shows the union of S and T. You're right. If you shape both the circles, including their common sides, then that shows the union of S and P. Then, what is the probability of S union T, or P is equal to, or P close and open parentheses, S union T? Okay, you got the correct answer. Looking at the diagram, we can see that 18 over 20 students either want to play SIPA or patintero. Simplifying 18 over 20 is 9 over 10, or 0.9. What does 9 over 10 or 0.9 mean in the problem? Absolutely! This means that if you randomly select one from the students, the one who selected has a 90% chance that he likes to play SIPA or patintero. The next question is, what is the probability of the complement of S union T, or P close and open parenthesis, S union T? Remember, class, the complement of the set S and T refers to those that do not belong to set S and T. So, what's your guess? You got it right. The P close and open parenthesis S union T is the number of the students who do not like to play either games. Then, it's 2 over 20 or 1 over 10 or 0.1 in decimals. Then, what can you infer about this information? Exactly! It means that if you pick one of the 20 randomly selected, there's a 10% chance that the student doesn't like any of the games mentioned. Any questions about what we've discussed so far? If there are none, then let's answer the following questions. What's the difference between the Venn diagram of mutually inclusive and mutually exclusive events? That's right! When illustrating them using a Venn diagram, mutually exclusive events use circles that do not intersect. In contrast, mutually inclusive events use a Venn diagram where parts of the circles intersect with each other. What are the things that we should do in illustrating mutually inclusive events? Very good! The first thing that we should identify is the common element in the data given, which will put in the coinciding region of the circles. Then, the remaining regions like the SIPA and patintero are used for the students who play only SIPA and patintero. They should be put inside the corresponding labels. Therefore, do not forget to label your events. And lastly, to identify the elements outside the circles. Suppose there is which of the complement of the events, but it is included in the universal set. How about the area where the union of two mutually inclusive events is located? Correct! Shading two circles including the common region shows the union of two mutually inclusive events. And lastly, how do we get the probability of each region in the Venn diagram? Exactly! To get the probability of each region, you can divide the number of elements in each region by the total number of elements in the universal set. I believe you are now ready for our short quiz. Bring out your pen and paper. Relax. Just listen carefully and apply what you have learned today. Is that okay, my dear students?
Okay!
Okay, for our quiz today, listen carefully to the problems I will give you and try to illustrate them using Venn diagrams. Each problem is equivalent to 10 points, 5 for the Venn diagram and 5 for the probability. I'll give you time to answer after each problem. Are you ready?
Oh yeah!
For the first question, let's adapt the example cited earlier of 1,350 students of a certain high school. 176 are on the honor roll, which is, we will put a symbol letter H. 15 are the members of the mathematics club, which is, we put letter M as a symbol. And 10 are in the honor roll and are also members of the mathematics club. Now, what is the probability that a randomly selected student is on the honor roll or he or she is in a member of mathematics club? Start doing your illustration and answer now. I will give you time. Start it now, my dear students. Are you done answering? Let's proceed to number 2. Okay, Carl's basketball shooting record indicate that for any frame, the probability that he will score in the 2-point shoot, or we put letter S as a symbol, is 30%. A 3-point shoot, which is letter T as a symbol, 45%, and both 25%. What is the probability that Carl will score either in the 2-point shoot or in the 3-point shoot? Okay, you may now start answering. To give you time to finalize your answer, here's the theme song of Radyo Eskwela.
Tayo ay mag-aral sa loob ng ating tahanan. Sa radyo ay magtsumilang, tiyak ika'y may matututunan. Pagkat sa gitna ng pandemya, tayo pa rin ay magkaisa, upang masigurong bawat bata ay pumapasa. Halina't matuto gamit ang ating radyo, pakinggan at unawain, aralin na ituturo. Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon. Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang maiiwan. Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela. Pagkat kayo'y kinabukasan, ang pag-asa ng ating bayan. Isa pusong pagkatuto nang matupad ang pangarap mo. Pagkat sa gitna ng pandemya, tayo pa rin ay magkaisa, upang masigurong bawat bata ay bumabasa. Halina't matuto gamit ang ating radyo, pakinggan at unawain, aralin na
Very good. Okay, students, I think you're done. Congratulations on finishing your quiz. Mathematicians, it's time to check your answers. Remember, be honest in checking. Is that okay? For number 1, how should the Venn diagram look like? The region for honor roll only should have 166 for mathematics club. Only should have 5, and for the intersection should have 10 elements. While 1169 is outside the circles to make up for the 1350 universal set. For the probability of the union of H and P, or P close and open parenthesis, H union M, there are only 180 out of 1,350 students. Therefore, 181 over 1,350 or 0.13. How many points did you get? That's nice! For number 2, the region for 2-point shoot, or the symbol of S is 5% or 0.05. 25% or 0.25 should be inside the region for the 3-point shoot, which is indicated as letter T as the symbol. 25% or 0.25 should be inside the intersection of both S and P. And 50% or 0.5 is located outside the circular region. Therefore, the probability that Carl will score either in the 2-point shoot or in the 3-point shoot is 50% or 0.5. How's your score again, my dear students? Okay, I hope you did great today. If not, try to go over your learning activity sheet and practice illustrating the union of two mutually inclusive events, or if you have questions about the topic, don't hesitate to contact your advisor or any of your math teacher. Is that clear?
Oh yeah!
By the way, you need to give yourselves a resounding applause. Because you did a great job today. There you go, students. We have improved our math skills once again. Always remember, constant practice makes perfect. So, just be diligent and you'll get the result you wish for. On behalf of our scriptwriter, Ma'am Shahani M. Kalimag, and the SDO Isabela RBI production team, this is Sir Mark Aviel S. Bugawan, your math buddy on air. Okay, have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in to our Radyo Eskwela. Goodbye, keep safe.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.